Another big story that's making its way through the state, and I wanted to give some time to this morning. The story out of the paper here: gun group, Republican leader bowing down to Dems by holding hearing on gun control bills. Their story out of the paper says Michigan gun rights group says the state's top Republican is giving in to the demands of Democrats who are calling for stricter gun laws. Mike Shirkey bowing down to the demands of anti-gun Senate Democrats while letting pro-gun bills languish in his chamber is completely uncalled for and an affront to law-abiding Michiganders, said Brenden Boudreau, is executive director of Great Lakes, Michigan gun rights here. And, of course, the executive director joins us now here on Wood Radio. Appreciate you being here with us this morning, Brenden. Thank you for taking the time. Tell us what's going down. Break this down for us. And this has to do with these red flag laws, things like that?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So really have to back up a couple years to 2019 is actually the day of the 2019 Second Amendment March in Lansing. I was there with other great pro-gun patriots and Michiganders. I was actually there delivering thousands of petitions opposing red flag laws, and actually some to Senator Shirkey's office when later that day, and actually picked up the story the next day, that Senator Shirkey had promised that week to give a hearing to Democrat State Senator Rosemary Bayer's red flag bills that she had filed that year. Now, fast forward to just last week, Senator Shirkey, at least his office has come out to say that he's going to make good on those promises. And of course, Senator Bayer was singing Shirkey's praises for giving this hearing, which we find, as I said in my statement, an affront to law-abiding Michiganders and gun owners who expect Republicans to actually fight for their gun rights and not hold hearings on radical gun control, like red flag laws, which are a form of gun confiscation.
Brenden, let's talk about that, because I think people don't understand it. On the surface, they've done a very good job, the left and the media, of course, of telling these stories, the narrative of why we need things like this, and they'll say, we could stop these horrible crimes from happening. Last time I checked, especially when it comes to some of these stories that we see, and as unfortunate as they are, but there's not a law on the books or even proposed sometimes it would even stop these things. So, but these laws really, as we've seen, they depend on this sort of naivete that would expect people to think that the government would never abuse its power and authority. And as we've seen over the last couple of years, boy, oh boy, that's just not reality.
Yeah.
These laws would allow people to politically target for any reason, any individual they'd want to at a certain time to come in and grab their gun. And boy, that's really concerning, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, these laws effectively gut the Bill of Rights. It guts your First Amendment rights, because someone could go file a police report saying that you're a danger to yourself because of certain political views that you have. Maybe it's a Trump bumper sticker that you have on your truck. Maybe that's considered a threat. Therefore, we need to take away your guns. It takes away your right to due process. You don't actually get to face your accuser. These hearings often happen in the dark of night without the accused party even being present. So next thing you know, law enforcement showing up at your door, and they get the short end of the stick too, because they're going to these situations. It's putting our law enforcement in danger as well. So these laws, they're just all around. You don't get to face your accuser. You don't get proper due process. You don't get to take away somebody's rights and then restore them later. That's not how it works. People get to face their accusers. They get to go through judicial proceedings before their rights are stripped from them. And of course, that's the thing, is that, of course, the tragedy out of Oxford is being politicized, and that's why we're now pushing red flag laws. But when you actually look at it, the evidence that's coming out of that, the evidence is contrary that red flag laws would have actually stopped this. And it's just the latest thing that they're throwing against the wall. Senator Bayer threw, we need to do safe storage laws, or mandatory storage laws is what we like to call them, lock up your safety laws. We need to do a magazine ban magazines that hold more than a handful of rounds. And this is just the latest thing that they're throwing against the wall to see what sticks. And once the facts actually show that there are multiple systemic failures that allowed this shooting to happen, but of course the problem is that Senator Shirkey seems more interested in giving a platform to Democrats pushing their garbage than actually standing up for the Second Amendment.
Yeah, great points. You mentioned in this article that there were bills or there were other pro-gun bills that weren't even being considered right now. What are those, and what would you like to see taken up right now?
Yeah, sure. So, our organization has two major legislative pushes that we're making. We want Michigan to become a constitutional carry state. For anyone who's not familiar with that issue, constitutional carry simply says that if you can lawfully possess a handgun, you should be able to carry it openly or concealed without having to get a permit. There are 21 constitutional carry states. There's about 4 or 5 more that are looking at passing it this year, including Indiana, Ohio, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Alabama, Georgia, and a couple others. It's common sense. Here in Michigan, open carry is legal without a permit. It's the act of putting on a coat, which we're good Michiganders. We know it gets cold in the wintertime here. You put on a coat, all of a sudden, if you don't have a permit, it's a 5-year felony. Or if you carry in your car without a permit, it's a 5-year felony. That's worse than in California, where it's a misdemeanor. So, Michigan is backwards when it comes to the Second Amendment. So, we want to see Republicans fight for this legislation. We want to see our Republican leaders in Lansing, Senator Shirkey, Speaker of the House Jason Wentworth, actually push for hearings and votes on the House floor on these bills. Pennsylvania passed constitutional carry, even though they have a Democrat governor there. And that just shows you the leadership of the Republicans in that state. And of course, the gun rights activists who have helped push that across there. This is a perfect political environment for Republicans to be taking big pushes to restore the Second Amendment, even if the victory isn't guaranteed, to still be pushing forward, to be promising hearings to Democrats on radical gun control. That's taken a step backwards. And frankly, gun owners have a right to feel betrayed by Senator Shirkey for pulling this nonsense.
If folks want to follow up with you, Brenden Boudreau, the executive director at Great Lakes Gun Rights, where can they go online? Where can they find you? Facebook, Twitter, Getter, those type of places.
Yeah, we're on Facebook. You can look us up at Great Lakes Gun Rights. Our website is greatlakesgunrights.org.
Awesome. Hey, thank you for taking the time. Please come back and let us know how this works out. We appreciate you.
Sounds good. Will do, Justin. Appreciate your time.
You got it. Make it a great day. God bless, Eric.